Mm. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope everybody's having a great morning. It is Friday morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome into the live, everyone. Now this morning we are going to be reading from the book of Proverbs. Now, for those of you who are just coming in to the channel, which we have quite a few people. If you are just coming into the channel, we do quite a bit of stuff over here, but one thing that we are diligent about is reading the Bible every morning. Yes, that same precious book that is called the Bible, yeah. We read it every day. Not not because we endorse any particular religion or denomination, which we don't. We read the Bible because it is so influential on every aspect of our lives. So we read it so that we can be abreast of its content rather than be told what is in the Bible. And so I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you who have come out or come over to listen. Now, if you are here when I'm reading, you may follow along in your book Bible or your Google Bible, whichever one. Make notes as you go along because there's always something interesting when it comes to the Bible. There's always something interesting to be found, to be heard. Since we have been reading the Bible over a year now, we have come across all kinds of interesting things. Some of them we have been delighted to hear, and others we have been absolutely astonished to know was written in the Bible. Some people may be astonished. I am not. And why I'm not is because the Bible is a storybook, storybook, a storybook, a compilation of stories written many years ago by different people, written by priests and laymen and leaders, governors of some sort. Everybody gives their account of what was happening during their time. And then it was compiled, and some things were put into the Bible and some things were left out, because they couldn't put everything of that generation in the Bible. And if you notice, if you have read the Bible like I have, you will notice that it was not all, it was not all from one single generation. The contents of the Bible span thousands of years. So we know that it was not just from one particular era in history. But with all that being said, we read the Bible to understand. The people read it for different reasons. Some read it to understand. Some people are really religious zealous, and they will tell you that everything that's in the Bible they go by. They believe everything in the Bible, and they are willing to do anything as long as it is written in the Bible. I wouldn't be one of those people because I definitely would not be stoning anybody for whatever reason, no matter how I believe that their actions are either immoral or however I choose or society chooses to classify someone's behavior. I wouldn't be the one. I wouldn't agree with anybody being stoned. But if you say you're going to follow the Bible, you will follow everything that is in the Bible. That's something that you might want to think about. And people say society is going to be doomed because society is changing stuff that is in the Bible. My golly, we couldn't be living like that now, like how the people were according to the documentations in the Bible. We couldn't be going around and just slaughtering people just because we want their land and their possessions. And then when we take their possessions, we burn their city down. And we couldn't be doing that now. Uh uh. But in the Bible, we saw where the children of Israel did a whole lot of that to acquire their wealth. And then we just finished reading the Psalm where all that wealth is gone. The whole city of Jerusalem has been dismantled. The people are scattered around. They have moved on. They are not following the laws of Moses anymore. The people are all over the place. The palace is laid bare and empty, and the vineyards in Jerusalem are no longer being tended to. The tabernacle is empty. Everybody has gone about their business. And we see in the Psalm where the Psalm is compiled of poetry where different individuals are crying out to God and begging their God to deliver them from the enemies, to stand up for them, and to help them to reestablish Jerusalem. Now we are on to the book of Proverbs. And the book of Proverbs, many believe to be one of the greatest books of the Bible, considering that the book of Proverbs provides a lot of wisdom, and the way how the Proverbs are written, we can always apply those. We can apply the wisdom that Proverbs is used in our lives in today, because the Proverbs, boy, I tell you, they say the Psalm was for David and the Proverb was for Solomon. Well, it is true. So come along with me, my friends. Let us read the Proverbs. Get your Bible and let us read along. Today we are going to be reading the Proverbs chapters 1 through 5. Proverbs chapter 1 says, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and the man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Is the Bible talking in a people? Is the Bible talking? Let me read that for you all again. Let's read verse 18 of Proverbs chapter 1. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Just like I was talking about just now about how the children of Israel acquired all their wealth. Yes, by slaughtering the people who owned it and taking it away. Remember when they went into Jericho, when they went into Sion, when they went into Bashan, they slaughtered the people, and they took everything that was worth anything. Gold and silver and diamond and everything else. Precious coats and gems and everything else. They took it for themselves and slaughtered the people. Now, here in the Proverbs says, verse 16 and chapter 1 verse 16 says, for their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of conquest, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate judgment, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and he refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But he hath set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Why? That's all right. Sean, what's up? Good morning, my love. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hold on, let me see what the Proverbs say here. Verse 23 says, Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and he refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But he hath set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Huh? When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. That's interesting. I'm good, my love. I'm wonderful. Verse 30 said, they would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Verse 33, and this is the last verse of Proverbs chapter 1. But whosoever hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Here endeth the reading of Proverbs chapter 1. Let's move on to Proverbs chapter 2. Proverbs chapter 2. My son, if thou wilt receive my words, and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom, and apply thy heart to understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding. If thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hidden treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord giveth wisdom; out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the paths of judgment, and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness, and judgment, and equity, yea, every good path. When wisdom entereth into thy heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that seeketh forward things, who leave the path of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil, and delight in the forwardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they forward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words, which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgets the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. Verse 22, and this is the last verse of Proverbs chapter 2. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. Here is the reading of Proverbs chapter 2. When wisdom, verse 10 says, when wisdom entereth into thy heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity. Let us move on. Let us move on to Proverbs chapter 3. Follow along with me, guys, in your book Bible. In your Bible, your book, or the Google, or on Google. You know, different versions of the Bible do say different things, but once you are following along, you should be able to understand where we are. Okay. Proverbs chapter 3 says, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Verse 7 said, be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the firstfruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delights. Happy is the man that finds wisdom, and the man that gets understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of the suddenness. Be not afraid of the sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, Go and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee. You hear what the Bible says? If your neighbor asks for something and you have it now, don't tell them to come back tomorrow. That's verse 28. Verse 29 says, Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. You can't have your neighbor depending on you while you are devising evil against your neighbor. Strive not with a man without cause. You know, would you sing that song? Strive not with a man without a cause. If he have done thee no harm, let bygones be bygones. Did I had a close one yesterday? That put an angel over me. Yeah, if you all ever listened to that song from Buju, yeah, that's where it's from. Strive not with a man without a cause, if he had done thee no harm. That Psalm, that's Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 30. Verse 31 says, Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, for the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorns the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. Verse 35, and this is the last verse of Proverbs chapter 3. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. Here ends the reading of Proverbs chapter 3. And we are moving right along, guys, to Proverbs chapter 4. I know I'm early. I know I wake up early, and I try to get stuff done early so that for the rest of the day I can get some other things done. So I know when I come to read the Bible, the people in Jamaica are probably asleep, but it's at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock there. So when they are wake up, they will be able to come and listen. All right. Let us move on to Proverbs chapter 4. Proverbs chapter 4 says, Hear ye children the instruction of a father, and attend to know knowledge. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Let's move on. Let's start over. Proverbs chapter 4 says, "Hear ye children the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall perceive thee. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding as well. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor. When thou dost embrace her, she shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fail. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. That's another verse from for another Buddha song again. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. Verse 19. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thy heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips. Put away from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. Here ends the reading of Proverbs chapter 4. And the last chapter we read today is Proverbs chapter 5. Proverbs chapter 5. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honey, end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou should ponder the path, thou canst not know them. Verse 6 says, Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, holy children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house, lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel, lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. And thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, How have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thy own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. You hear that, guys? Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Nobody now rejoice with the wife of their youth anymore, because by the time people reach, by the time if you marry somebody in your youth, by the time they reach 35 and 40, they claim that they're going through midlife crisis. They want to leave, they want to go find other people. So so people are not enjoying life with the wife of their youth anymore. Old people, 60 and 70 year old marrying 20 something year old people. So oh my Lord. Letitia, what's up? Good morning, my love. How are you doing? Good to see you. Happy Friday. Let us continue. Verse 19 of Proverbs chapter 5 says, Let her be as the loving bind and pleasure rule. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. Who the Bible not talk to? The Bible not talk to them nowadays, man, yeah. No, sir. The Bible not talking to these nowadays, men. It a talk to the older men them that that believe in marriage for better or worse. And they married to their wife and they stay with their wife and their wife stay with them until the two of them get old and grey. Them a enjoy each other's sagging body, each other's missing teeth, and still loving each other. No, sir. Man, yeah, you start lose one teeth, your breast start sag, or you're just aging, the natural process of aging are gone, them gone. But in verse 20, let me read verse 19 again. Verse 18, as a matter of fact. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind, and pleasure rule. Let her breast satisfy thee all at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. And and why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? All right. You see the Bible asking the old men, why would you be ravished by a strange woman and not the woman with whom you have spent all these years? Why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his doings. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sin. Verse 23, and this is the last verse of Proverbs chapter 5, and the last verse of this morning's reading. He shall dive structure, and in the greatness of his fun, he shall strength. Here ends of Proverbs chapter 1. And here ends the reading of the Bible for this morning. Now, I want to say thanks to everybody who have come into the live, everybody who has stopped by, and to those of you who will be coming in and listening to the reading later on when the live has ended. I want to say welcome. Thank you all so much. Look, guys, the book of Proverbs with all its wisdom is going to be a rather interesting read. Now, what's the takeaway from this morning? Men, men, stay with the wife of your youth so that you can ravage in her bosom when you are older. Because what is the point of spending your life with her until you are old and then you want to go spend time with a stranger? Well, unless she passes away, there should be no reason for you to do that to her. But then again, it's modern days. There are no laws that's bounding wives and husbands to stay together. When the Bible was written, there was no such thing as divorce, but it seems like the author of the Proverbs could see the hearts of men that they would love to leave their wives with whom they have grown old and go for a younger person. And so the proverb asks, what's the point? Like, why would you why would you leave the wife of your youth and go to find a younger person, a stranger, to go ravage in a stranger's bosom? And that is the question for the men. Why would you want to do that? As rhetorical as that question is, it's a question nonetheless. So that's going to be it for me for now, my friends. Until next time, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. We'll be back in a few when we'll be reading the book Taken at the Flood. All right, guys, have yourselves a great day, and I will see you back in about an hour. Alrighty?